There's something nobody tells you about your life. Something so simple yet so powerful it can change everything the moment you truly understand it. Right now, at this exact moment, you are attracting your future. Not someday, not later. Right now, every thought you're thinking, every belief you're holding, every doubt you keep repeating in your mind is quietly building the life you're about to live. And here's the truth most people avoid. It's not your background holding you back. It's not your past failures. It's not even the lack of opportunities. It's the way you see yourself. Because there are people out there who started with less than you, faced more rejection than you, had more reasons to quit than you, and still rose to the top. Why? Because somewhere along the way, they made a decision. They stopped thinking like someone waiting to be chosen and started thinking like someone who chooses themselves. They stopped shrinking, stopped doubting, stopped asking, what if I fail? And started asking, what if I'm meant for more? Let me ask you something. What if the life you want isn't far away? What if it's not locked behind luck, connections, or perfect timing? What if it's been waiting on one thing this whole time? A shift in the way you think. Because the moment you start thinking like a king, not arrogant, not entitled, but certain, grounded, powerful, something changes. You stop chasing everything, and everything starts moving toward you. So don't just watch this video, don't just listen, because what you're about to hear has the power to change how you see yourself forever. And once that changes, everything changes. The idea that mindset determines reality is not just a motivational phrase. It is a practical law that quietly shapes every outcome in your life. What you consistently think about becomes the filter through which you interpret the world, make decisions, and take action. Your mind acts like a magnet, drawing in experiences, opportunities, and even people that align with your dominant thoughts. When you repeatedly focus on limitation, doubt, or fear, you begin to notice more obstacles, more rejection, and more reasons to stay stuck. On the other hand, when your thoughts are centered on growth, confidence, and possibility, your awareness shifts and you begin to see openings where others only see walls. This is not magic. It is the natural result of how perception and behavior work together. Every decision you make is influenced by what you believe to be true about yourself and the world around you. If you think you are not capable, you hesitate, you delay, and you avoid risk, which then produces results that confirm your original belief. This creates a cycle where your mindset keeps reinforcing your reality. But when you change your internal dialogue and begin to think like someone who is capable, deserving, and powerful, your actions begin to change. You speak with more confidence, you take initiative, and you persist longer. These behaviors lead to different outcomes, which then strengthen your new belief system. In this way, your mindset is not just shaping how you feel, it is actively constructing the results you experience. Your emotional state also plays a critical role in this process. Thoughts are not isolated, they carry energy that influences how you engage with the world. When your mindset is filled with certainty and purpose, your energy becomes more focused and attractive. People respond differently to you, opportunities seem more accessible, and challenges feel more manageable. This shift is often subtle at first, but over time it compounds into significant change. You begin to realize that what once seemed out of reach was never truly impossible. It was simply outside the boundaries of your previous thinking. This principle also explains why two people in the same situation can experience completely different outcomes. One may see failure as proof of their limitations, while the other sees it as feedback and a stepping stone. Their external circumstances may be identical, but their internal interpretation creates entirely different paths forward. The person with a stronger, more empowering mindset will continue to move, adapt, and grow, eventually attracting better results, not because they are luckier, but because their thinking directs them toward actions and opportunities that align with success. Self-image is the invisible blueprint that shapes every result you produce, because it defines how you see yourself before the world ever responds to you. It is not what you say about yourself occasionally that matters. It is what you consistently believe you are at your core. This internal identity silently controls your behavior, your standards, your reactions, and even the opportunities you allow yourself to pursue. If your self-image is weak, uncertain, or limited, you will unconsciously act in ways that keep you small, even if you consciously desire something bigger. You may hesitate when it's time to speak up, doubt yourself when an opportunity appears, or settle for less than you deserve because deep down you don't believe you are worthy of more. Your actions will always align with the person you believe you are, not the person you wish to become. When you begin to elevate your self-image, everything starts to shift. You no longer need external validation to feel confident, because your belief in yourself comes from within. This internal shift changes how you carry yourself, how you communicate, and how you respond to challenges. You start to act with certainty instead of hesitation, and you make decisions based on possibility rather than fear. This is powerful because the world responds to the version of you that you project. People sense confidence, clarity, and self-respect, and they begin to treat you accordingly. Opportunities that once felt out of reach suddenly become accessible, not because the world has changed, but because you have. Your self-image also determines your tolerance for discomfort and growth. When you see yourself as someone capable and resilient, you are more willing to step outside your comfort zone and take risks. You don't interpret failure as a reflection of your worth. Instead, you see it as part of the process. This allows you to persist longer and improve faster, which naturally leads to better outcomes. On the other hand, if your self-image is fragile, even small setbacks can feel overwhelming, causing you to retreat and reinforce limiting beliefs. Over time, this difference compounds, creating a gap between those who grow and those who remain stuck. Changing your self-image requires intentional effort because it is built over years of experiences, conditioning, and repeated thoughts. You must begin to consciously replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Visualize yourself as the person you want to become, and most importantly, act in alignment with that identity even before you fully feel it. Every time you take action that reflects a stronger version of yourself, you reinforce that new identity. Gradually, what once felt unnatural becomes normal, and your self-image expands to match your potential, influencing your habits, decisions, and the results you attract in ways that continue to shape your reality. Belief is the starting point of every meaningful achievement, long before there is any visible evidence to support it. It is the internal conviction that something is possible for you, even when your current reality suggests otherwise. Most people wait to see results before they allow themselves to believe, but the truth is that belief must come first. Without it, there is no consistent action, no persistence, and no willingness to endure the uncertainty that comes with growth. Belief acts as the foundation upon which every decision is built, quietly influencing how you interpret challenges, how you respond to setbacks, and how far you are willing to push beyond your comfort zone. When you truly believe in an outcome, your behavior begins to align with that expectation. You take action with confidence instead of hesitation, and you approach obstacles with the mindset that they are temporary rather than permanent. This difference in attitude may seem subtle, but it has a powerful effect over time. A person who believes they will succeed is far more likely to keep going when things become difficult, while someone who lacks belief will interpret the same difficulty as a sign to quit. In this way, belief becomes a self-fulfilling force. It drives the actions that eventually create the results, making it appear as though success was inevitable, when in reality it was built step by step through consistent, belief-driven effort. Belief also shapes your perception of what is possible. If you do not believe something can be achieved, you will not even consider the actions required to pursue it. Your mind will automatically filter out opportunities that fall outside your perceived limits. On the other hand, when your belief expands, your awareness expands with it. You begin to notice possibilities, connections, and strategies that were previously invisible to you. This shift in perception opens doors that were always there but remained unseen because your belief system did not allow you to recognize them. As a result, belief does not just influence your actions, it directly affects the opportunities you are able to perceive and act upon. Developing strong belief requires repetition, emotional intensity, and a willingness to challenge your existing assumptions. It is built by consistently feeding your mind with thoughts that support your goals, visualizing success as if it has already happened, and surrounding yourself with influences that reinforce your desired direction. Over time, this repeated focus strengthens your conviction, making it more natural and automatic. As your belief grows, so does your ability to take decisive action and remain committed despite uncertainty. The external results may take time to appear, but internally, a transformation is already underway, shaping your identity, your behavior, and the path you follow toward the outcomes you once considered beyond your reach. Emotional energy is the force that gives life to your thoughts, turning them from passive ideas into active signals that influence your behavior and the way others respond to you. It is not enough to think positively or set goals in a neutral, detached way. The intensity of emotion behind those thoughts determines how strongly they impact your actions and outcomes. When you combine belief with powerful emotions like passion, confidence, excitement, and certainty, you create a state of mind that naturally drives you forward. This emotional alignment makes your intentions feel real and urgent, pushing you to act with greater focus, consistency, and determination. Every action you take is fueled by an underlying emotional state. When your energy is low, uncertain, or fearful, your actions tend to be hesitant and inconsistent. You may delay important decisions, avoid challenges, or give up quickly when things become difficult. This weak emotional state sends signals not only to your own mind, but also to the people around you, shaping how they perceive and interact with you. On the other hand, when your emotional energy is strong and positive, your actions become more decisive and intentional. You move with clarity, speak with conviction, and approach challenges as opportunities rather than threats. This shift in behavior increases your chances of success because you are operating from a place of strength rather than doubt. Emotional energy also plays a crucial role in how you influence your environment. People are naturally drawn to individuals who radiate confidence and enthusiasm, while they tend to distance themselves from those who project negativity or are tainty. Opportunities often come through relationships, and the energy you bring into those interactions can determine whether doors open or remain closed. When you consistently show up with high emotional energy, you create a presence that attracts attention, trust, and collaboration. This does not mean forcing artificial positivity, but rather cultivating a genuine sense of belief and purpose that others can feel. Another important aspect of emotional energy is its ability to sustain momentum over time. Achieving meaningful goals requires persistence, and persistence is difficult to maintain without a strong emotional connection to what you are pursuing. When you are deeply passionate about your vision, setbacks become easier to handle because your emotional drive keeps you moving forward. Instead of seeing obstacles as reasons to quit, you interpret them as part of the process, which allows you to continue taking action even when results are not immediate. This sustained effort is often what separates those who eventually succeed from those who stop too soon. By consciously managing your emotional state, you gain greater control over your actions and your results. You can choose to focus on thoughts and experiences that elevate your energy, reinforcing a mindset that supports growth and success. Over time, this consistent emotional alignment strengthens your ability to attract opportunities, build meaningful connections, and create outcomes that reflect the intensity and direction of your inner world. Decisiveness and authority form the backbone of a powerful mindset, because without them, even the strongest beliefs and desires remain inactive. Thinking like a king means refusing to live in hesitation, doubt, or endless overthinking. It means understanding that every moment of indecision is a moment where opportunity can pass, momentum can fade, and confidence can weaken. Decisiveness is not about always making perfect choices. It is about making clear choices and committing to them fully. When you decide quickly and act with purpose, you create forward movement, and that movement generates results, feedback, and new opportunities. Without that action, even the best ideas remain trapped in potential. Authority, on the other hand, is the internal sense of ownership over your life. It is the belief that you are in control of your direction, regardless of external circumstances. When you operate with authority, you do not wait for permission from others to pursue your goals or express your ideas. You trust your judgment and take responsibility for your outcomes, whether they are successes or failures. This mindset shifts you from being reactive to being proactive, allowing you to shape your environment instead of being shaped by it. People who carry this sense of authority naturally stand out, because they project clarity, confidence, and leadership in the way they think, speak, and act. Indecision often comes from fear. Fear of making the wrong choice, fear of judgment, or fear of failure. This fear creates a cycle where you delay action, gather more information, and wait for certainty that never fully arrives. Over time, this habit weakens your confidence because each moment of hesitation reinforces the idea that you are unsure or incapable. In contrast, when you practice decisiveness, you train your mind to trust itself. Even if a decision does not lead to the desired outcome, you gain valuable experience and insight, which strengthens your ability to make better decisions in the future. This process builds confidence, not because you avoid mistakes, but because you learn to handle them effectively. Authority also influences how others perceive and respond to you. When you communicate your ideas with clarity and conviction, people are more likely to listen, respect your perspective, and support your vision. Opportunities often favor those who appear certain and capable, because confidence signals readiness and reliability. This does not mean being arrogant or ignoring input from others, but rather having a strong sense of direction while remaining open to learning and growth. The balance between confidence and adaptability allows you to lead without becoming rigid. By developing decisiveness and authority, you create a powerful internal framework that supports consistent action and progress. You stop waiting for ideal conditions and start creating them through your choices. Each decision you make reinforces your sense of control and strengthens your ability to move forward, shaping a reality that reflects your willingness to take ownership, act boldly, and pursue your goals with clarity and confidence. Your environment is not just a random collection of circumstances, it is a reflection of your internal world, shaped by your thoughts, beliefs, and habitual patterns. The people you surround yourself with, the opportunities you encounter, and even the challenges you face are often aligned with the mindset you consistently carry. This does not mean you consciously choose every outcome, but your inner state influences the decisions you make, the standards you accept, and the energy you bring into different situations. Over time, these factors combine to create an external reality that mirrors what is happening within you. If your internal world is dominated by doubt, fear, or a sense of limitation, you are more likely to tolerate environments that reinforce those feelings. You may stay in situations that do not challenge you to grow, engage with people who share similar limiting beliefs, or avoid opportunities that require you to step outside your comfort zone. This creates a cycle where your surroundings continuously validate your internal state, making it seem as though your circumstances are fixed or unchangeable. In reality, it is your mindset that is maintaining that environment by influencing your choices and reactions. When you begin to shift your inner world, your environment starts to change as a natural consequence. As your confidence grows and your standards rise, you become less willing to accept situations that do not align with your new mindset. You start to seek out people who inspire and challenge you, pursue opportunities that push you forward, and remove yourself from environments that drain your energy or limit your potential. This process may not happen instantly, but over time your external reality begins to reflect your internal transformation. The changes you make within yourself create a ripple effect that alters the direction of your life. Your environment also feeds back into your mindset, either strengthening or weakening it. When you place yourself in a supportive, growth-oriented environment, you are constantly exposed to ideas, behaviors, and expectations that encourage progress. This reinforces your belief in what is possible and makes it easier to maintain a positive and focused mindset. On the other hand, being in a negative or stagnant environment can pull you back into old patterns, making it more difficult to sustain change. This is why consciously choosing your environment is such a critical part of personal development. Ultimately, the relationship between your inner world and your external environment is dynamic and ongoing. Each influences the other in a continuous cycle, shaping your experiences and outcomes over time. By taking control of your thoughts, beliefs, and emotional patterns, you begin to influence the conditions around you, gradually creating an environment that aligns with your goals, values, and vision for your life. So now you understand the truth. Your life is not waiting to be fixed. It is waiting to be claimed. Everything you've been searching for, success, respect, opportunity, growth, it's not hiding from you, it's responding to you, responding to how you think, responding to how you see yourself, responding to the standard you choose to live by every single day. You do. You don't need permission to rise. You don't need approval to become powerful. You don't need perfect conditions to start. All you need is the decision to step into a higher version of yourself, to think stronger, to believe deeper, to act with certainty, even when the path is unclear. Because the moment you start thinking like a king, you stop living like a spectator in your own life. You take control, you take ownership, you take your place, and life has no choice but to meet you at that level. So walk out of this moment with your head higher, your vision clearer, and your belief stronger than ever before. Your future is not something you wait for, it's something you create. And starting today, you create it with power. I wish you strength in your journey, courage in your decisions, and success in everything you pursue. Good luck. Go out there and build the life you truly deserve. Thank you for your time. And remember, you attract everything when you think like a king.